Hold on, I gotta tie my shoe first. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video, I want to tell you about one thing that I just did recently that I am super proud of. This is one of the last things needed for me to finally put behind me all of the trouble of my past. This is something that has been with me, something that I have not done, something I should have been doing a long time ago. I just never was able to do it. I just never did it. And what I'm referring to is paying off all of my court fines. In fact, it was just on this past Wednesday where I just finally went and paid off every single court fine that I owed. Now, a while back, it was probably months ago, 6 months ago maybe, I had done a video talking about how would you spend this. And in that video, I had to take something like $7,500 to a court in the city of Suffolk where I owed that court in particular that much damn money. And you know, if I can remember correctly, I think I was even like $1 short. In fact, it was the court clerk who gave me that extra dollar so I could pay off that one city. $7,500 is what I owed to them. But again, it was like 6 months ago where I just went and paid them off. However, after that, I still owed four other cities court fines. And again, it was just on this past Wednesday when I went and paid off all of this. So there is nothing hanging over my head anymore. And what this really means, and this is the biggest announcement ever. This is something that I haven't been able to say since I was 17 years old. I am now 35 years old. So I haven't been able to say this for like 18 years. But guess what? Because of the fact that I just went and paid off all of these court fines, in 6 months from now, your boy old Joe, he about to be getting his driver's license back. Can you believe it? Old Joe in 6 months from now is actually going to be able to drive a car. Not illegally, legally. Yeah, because God knows I've certainly done enough driving illegally. In fact, I've got like 4, maybe 5 driving on suspended license charges. So in 6 months from now, your boy is about to be able to get back behind the wheel of a car. And you know, all this talk about driving certainly makes me wonder, what kind of car should I get? I'm thinking maybe a Ferrari, maybe a Lamborghini. Now, you know, all of this talk about old Joe soon to be back behind the wheel of a car. You know, that's almost a scary thought. But with all of this talk about me getting my license back, this brings up a really good point. And what that is getting your license back after coming home from prison, after you get released. Because in a lot of cases, there's going to be charges that cause you to have your license suspended. It's not just going to be for like a DUI charge or a reckless driving charge. You can get your driver's license suspended for drug charges. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's how I got my license suspended. But to be completely honest with you, I mean, I really can't even remember. It was either for a drug charge or it was for one of my many driving without a license charges. And just to kind of really drive home the fact of why I can't remember, let me just go ahead and count for you how many different court cases I had to pay off in this whole effort of me actually paying off all of these court fines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 charges just on the first page. 14, 15, 16. 16 damn charges. I really thought I had a lot more than that. Now, what this paper is that I'm actually counting these charges off to you, what this is a DMV compliant summary. And I actually received this at the last prison I was at as soon as I got there because this prison was a re-entry prison. A lot of guys were going home within like the next 2 years, 3 years, hell in some cases not for another 5 years. I couldn't imagine getting to a re-entry prison and still having 5 years left to serve. In fact, when I first got into prison, I still had 5 years left to serve. And there ain't no way in hell I'd have done those 5 years at a re-entry prison. I'm just saying. That ain't no place to really be doing no time at. But anyways, when I first got to this prison, one of the things that they make you do when you get there is they make you write to the DMV and request this paper right here, this compliance summary. And what this paper tells you is exactly what you need to do in an effort to get your license back when you get released. Because having a license and ability to be able to drive to a job is going to go a long ways to helping you, 1, get a job, and 2, possibly help you get a good job, or at least a better job. In fact, I'm quite sure a lot of you are aware, or maybe you might not be, but a lot of employers, they won't even hire you if you don't have a license. You can look through Craigslist for jobs that are hiring, or even the newspaper, and you'll see right there for a lot of these construction jobs, it's gonna say, must have a driver's license and your own vehicle. And I never really understood why you need a driver's license and a vehicle if you're going to a damn construction site. But when I got to this last prison and they told me, hey, you need a right to DMV to request this driver's compliance summary, I wasn't even really trying to do this because I knew whatever they was about to send me back, it was probably gonna be as thick as a book. I'm just telling you, I knew it was gonna be a lot of stuff I had to do. I had caught so many charges in between the time that I had last had a driver's license, which was again at the ripe old age, Junie's still in the rapper age, wait a minute, of 17 years old. So yeah, a lot of things had happened between the time I was 17 years old and I was 30, getting to this last prison. Damn, Joe, you old as a... Gotta make sure my hair stays alright. But let me go ahead and share with you a little bit of what this paper tells you and also some of the crazy things that it told me in particular. And when you hear some of these things, a lot of this is just absolutely crazy. The hoops you have to jump through in an effort to get your license back. Especially again for me, a guy who hasn't had my license in almost 2 decades. 2 decades sound a whole lot longer than just 18 years. Your driving privilege is revoked. Not just suspended, but revoked. I'm not even sure what the difference between suspended and revoked really means. Your driving privilege is revoked for 6 months pursuant Virginia Code something. The revocation period will end 6 months from the date that you do all of the following. Provide DMV with a receipt from the following court showing fines and costs and courts have been paid in full, or that you have entered into an installment agreement with the courts to make payments to the courts, or a court authorization for restricted driving privileges. So the first thing this tells me that I needed to do was pay off all of these court fines, which, like I counted earlier, was for a lot of damn charges. Or enter into a payment plan with these courts. Now, to get a payment plan, you have to go to these courts, you have to set up saying you're gonna pay X amount of dollars to them per month. I've actually tried to set up a payment plan with the courts many different times, but because of the fact that I had so many different charges in so many different cities, and also with the fact that I didn't really have a whole lot of responsibility in my life back then trying to do this, yeah, it wouldn't be long before I messed all of that up. And once you mess that up one time, because you only get one time and one chance to enter into these payment plans, once you mess that up, you no longer are eligible to get into a payment plan, and you then have to pay all of these courts in full. Now, had I been able to enter into those payment plans and set up all of those payment plans and maintain them, I could have took that documentation to the DMV and either applied to get my license back if it wasn't suspended or revoked for these 6 months like it is, or I could have taken this to the courts and tried to petition to get a restricted driver's license. But again, in the past, I messed all of that up, so I wasn't able to do that at all. But go ahead and fast forward to today, or actually this past Wednesday, when I paid off all of the remaining court fines in full. Well, now there's a possibility that I could potentially go try to get a restricted license. However, I'm gonna tell you why I don't think I'm gonna be eligible for that, but I'm gonna get to that in just a minute, because I gotta assure you, paying off all of these court fines, that's not everything they want me to do in an effort to get my license back. And there's gonna be a lot of guys very similar to what I've gotta go through. They're gonna have to go through that their damn selves. So hopefully this information is not only interesting and also kind of shocking, but also it's kind of helpful as well. Let's go ahead and turn to page 2. Provide DMV with the automobile insurance that you had back in 2001. What? It's 2017, 2001 was 16 years ago. Okay, maybe it wasn't 17 or 18 years since I last had a license. It was only 16 years ago. But again, DMV wants me to provide them with the automobile insurance that I had back in 2001 when I've spent most of my life since then locked up many a different times all over the place and leaving little bits of my life wherever it lay as I get locked up. So I can guarantee you that even if I had insurance, which I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest with you, there is a very high likelihood I did not. I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be any way for me to verify this. But it says I have to provide DMV with this insurance that I know I probably didn't have. And if I didn't have that insurance, I got to go ahead and pay a statutory fee of $500. Then I also have to pay a reinstatement fee of $265. And then also a multiple order fee of, I think, $105. So that right there, that $500 plus $265, which is $765, plus $105 would be $870. I'm only $870 away from potentially getting my license back in 6 months. But we're not done yet. Of course not. This is DMV we're talking about, and also the courts. Two of the absolute worst things in the world. And when you mix them together, what do you got? Something pretty damn scary. I'm gonna need to sleep with the nightlight on tonight because that is a scary thought to think about. What happens when the DMV combines its powers with the powers of the courts? What happens? Well, I can imagine things are going to get pretty messy. I also need to complete a driver improvement clinic and provide DMV with proof of that completion. Now, I can understand that one. I mean, I did have a reckless driving charge. I did have like 4 or 5 driving without a license charges, and it's been like 16 or 17 or 18 years since I've last had a driver's license. I'm quite sure I need a driver improvement clinic. But here's the real kicker, and this is the one that I love the most. And when I say I love the most, I mean the exact opposite of love, because this one makes absolutely zero sense to me at all. But it says that I need to attend an intervention interview with Virginia ASAP, or ASAP as it's referred to for short. And what exactly VASAP is the Virginia Alcohol Safety Action Program. Most everybody refers to it as ASAP. The law of Virginia Code requires that everyone convicted of driving under the influence has to enter and complete Virginia ASAP. Wait a minute, they're talking about Virginia ASAP is for people who have been charged with driving under the influence and have a DUI charge. I ain't never had no DUI. And I mean, just to go even further, I've never had a DUI, a DUI. You like that, right? That was classic. Hey, yo, you DUI is a mother. But I've never had a charge like that at all, so I couldn't understand why I had to attend this intervention interview with VASAP. So what I did was the craziest thing you could ever do in your life. I called the DMV. You called the DMV? Do you know how crazy that sounds? Man, I'm sure you sat on hold for at least 4 hours. Legitimately, I did sit on hold for 45 minutes. But I called them because I had to find out why they got me going to this Virginia ASAP class. So I called them on Wednesday after I paid off all of these court fines. In fact, I called everybody in my damn family. I said, hey, you'll never believe what I just did. I just did what you've been asking me to do my entire damn life since the age of 18 years old. Pay off them damn court fines. And I just did it today, as a matter of fact. Yep. Kudos to old Joe. But I called the DMV and I said, hey, look, I really need to find out exactly what I need to do to get my license back. I had a ton of court fines. I just paid all of those off today. They typed my name into the computer. They said the computer damn near crashed when it came back because it was overloaded with so much crazy stuff. Then I had to do just to even think about smelling my license again. What's that smell? That's old Joe about to be driving again. But once I was able to tell the woman that I did pay off all of the court fines and I just needed to know what was the next step that I needed to take, she told me. She said, you need to attend this intervention interview at Virginia ASAP. And I told her, just like I told all of you, like, why I gotta do this? I ain't never had no DUI. And she told me, well, it's either because of the fact that you've got multiple driving on suspended charges, or it's because of the fact you got some drug charges. Okay, well, at least I got an answer now. It makes a little bit more sense, even though it still makes absolutely zero sense. Now, this intervention program is like 20 hours long. This is multiple different days. You gotta go, you gotta pay every time you go. I think it's like $30. So I'm thinking to myself, man, am I gonna have to sit through this class for 20-something hours, paying $30 every time I gotta go there? And not only that, you gotta take a breathalyzer and a drug test every time you go there. I got no issue with doing either one of those, but for the love of God, I've been taking drug tests all my damn life. I don't do drugs, and I'm so tired of people watching me when I'm trying to pee. It'll really mess you up, I'm telling you. But she said, look, I think you're only gonna have to go to the intervention interview. And I said, well, what is that? She said, you go in, you watch like an hour-long movie, you're in there with a bunch of other people, and then you meet with a case manager individually to talk about whether or not you need this class. Okay, so basically all you're telling me is I gotta convince this one person that I don't need this class. Sounds like I can do this. Now, I haven't done this yet, however, I have enrolled in this, and this is coming up on the 21st of December. 4 days before Christmas. Something else ironic about that is 9 years ago to the day, on December 21st, that was the day I got locked up to go to prison. You know, I really hope these up-close camera shots are working. I know you guys said you missed these. I'm trying to bring them back. Now here is finally where I start to see just a little bit of light at the end of the damn tunnel. Because this woman told me once I complete that intervention interview, I then take whatever piece of paper or documentation they give to me, take that to DMV, show them that, as well as this whole manila folder full of the receipts from the court fines that I just paid off, documentation from ASAP, court receipts right here. I hand both of these things to the person at the DMV. Here you go. And they then tell me at that moment when they see that verification and those receipts, congratulations, from today, it's still gonna be another 6 months before you can drive again. Now get out of here! Damn, now that I think about it, it's still a long damn time. So the 6-month revocation won't actually begin until that day there. And during that 6-month time, I'll still have to attend that driver improvement clinic. I'll still have to pay DMV that 800 and some change that I owe them. And also during this time, I could hire a lawyer, try to go to court in Virginia Beach, where this 6-month suspension is based out of, but trying to get a court date to go in front of a judge and to petition for a restricted driver's license. Now, what a restricted driver's license means is that you're only able to drive back and forth to work. However, with the fact that my job is AfterPrisonShow, trying to explain that to the judge first of all, you run up like a super famous YouTuber. What you do, yo? Oh yeah, you're a judge. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be the first thing he doesn't understand. And the second thing is gonna be why exactly I need a restricted license when I work out of my house. Boy, you don't need no restricted driver license. You better Uber somewhere for the next 6 months. Get out of my courtroom. Better download that Uber app. I actually do have the Uber app and Lyft as well. So I'm really feeling like they're not gonna give me a restricted license during this time, and I'm just gonna be patient and wait out these 6 months. I'll be 35 years old, getting my license back damn near like for the first time. Can you imagine not driving until you're 35 years old? Then add to that another thing that this kind woman at the DMV told me as I waited 45 minutes on hold to talk to her. She said, you know, because of the fact that you ain't been driving for so long, you might not even have no driving history left with the DMV. Okay, I understand. I mean, it has been a long time since I had a driver's license. What does that mean? Well, not only are you gonna have to take the written and road test again, but you might need to hold a driver's permit for 60 days. A driver's what? Woman, I'm 35 years old. What do I look like driving with a driver's permit? And your boy old Joe, he gonna be driving with that driver's permit. I can almost guarantee you that. Hey, I need somebody in here who's got a license that I can drive this car with. I can't drive, I've only got a permit. I am 35, that's exactly how old I am. You know, I just did a video yesterday about the top 10 things you can't do after prison, and this was one of the things that I really wanted to include with that list. Losing the ability to drive, losing your right to drive, because in a lot of cases, like I said earlier, certain charges, they're gonna get that license snatched up from you. And in a lot of cases as well, you're probably gonna have to jump through some major hoops in an effort just to get that back. 16 years this has taken me. But you know, regardless of all of that, this was like the one final thing left standing in my way, separating me now from me back then. All of the negativity in my life with me getting in trouble, going to prison, all of that, this was that one final thing that needed to be done to separate myself from that, paying off all of these court fines. And finally, after so damn long, am I in a position now where I'm actually about to have a driver's license again. Super proud of myself for this. I'm just trying to tell you, I hope you're proud of me as well. And again, seriously, I mean, what kind of car should I get? I wonder where I can get a hovercraft at. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace! It's time to start looking for some cars. Ha!